Hello everybody, welcome to ASL, Ahmedabad School of Linguistics, myself Ronak Vaidya. In today's video, we are going to talk about how to learn the language. Let it be German or for that matter any other language. Okay. Different approaches to learn the language. Now if you see, there are two primary approaches to learn any language. There is one approach, it's called the natural way of learning language, and that's basically how a child learns the language. Okay, and then there is another rivaling approach, okay, that is about how an adult learns a language. So in this video I'm going to talk about both of them, and I'm also going to talk about my personal approach in learning the language. Okay, so welcome aboard. So now let's first talk about the so-called natural approach. Okay, what is it, what are the benefits, and what are the disadvantages in learning a language as per this method. Now let me tell you that this so-called natural approach is probably one of the most used and widespread approach in learning language. This is a monolingual approach. Okay, so when a child learns a language, he does not have knowledge about any grammar, he doesn't know how to write or anything. Okay, but what he does is he listens and he speaks. He listens, remembers, and he speaks when a similar situation occurs. Okay, so it's primarily a monolingual approach. Okay, there is no translation of the words, so we are not using any other knowledge that we already have. Okay, because children, they are blank slate. Okay, they don't have any previous knowledge. Okay, but still they master the language. Now this approach is really good, especially if you want to learn to speak quickly. Okay, and with the help of this approach you will really be able to improve your speaking abilities. Okay. But the problem is, since it relies very heavily on the remembering part, it also includes a lot of rote learning. Okay. And the creativity is also less, because you can only say those things which you have heard before. Okay, so that's a major drawdown. Another drawdown, at least according to me, is that it takes a lot of time to learn a language properly according to this method. Now children, they are actually called language genius, but even for children, if you have seen, it's not before they are 2 or 3 years old that they are able to speak somewhat okayish. Okay, so here, and they have really strong memory. Okay, we don't have such a sharp memory or focus for that matter as an adult. Okay, so I believe that approach is suitable for children only. It's not that much suitable for adults. Okay, because as an adult we have many other tasks at hand. Okay, we don't have that kind of sharp memory. Okay, and and we are not that good at memorizing stuff as well. Okay. So now let's talk about the second approach in learning language. Okay, see, the first approach was monolingual. Okay, that the teacher would talk only in the the desired language that you want to learn. Okay, and there would be no other language used in the classroom. But this approach, the second approach, is completely opposite of that. Okay, we are using another language as well, apart from the ultimate language that the students want to learn. We also use in the classroom some other language that student is aware of. So for example, if you want to learn German and you are aware of English, or for that matter any other language, and the teacher is also aware of those language, then the teacher would explain the topics in that language which a student already knows. Okay, and then a student would understand those concepts in his or her mother tongue or any other language that he is comfortable with, and then he will translate or interpret, okay, those sentences in the ultimate language that he wants to learn. Now the problem with this method is obviously it's not suitable for children. Okay, why it's not suitable for children? Not just because that they don't have any other prior language knowledge, obviously it's there, but the primary reason is this method requires a lot of logical thinking. Okay, lot of comparing between two different languages. Okay, see, this is how it is in this language and this is how it is in this language. Okay, so deductive logic abilities. Now that is something that most of the children, they have not yet, they don't develop till the age of 13 or 14. Okay, so it's not suitable for the young kids, but for adults obviously it is very much suitable. Okay, now my approach is the mixture of both. Okay, I personally prefer to use both the methods in my class at an appropriate timing. Okay, now why do I, so when I start the classes from the beginning level, I personally prefer to have the second approach, the way an adult learns the language. And why do I prefer that approach? Well, because you see, as an doesn't matter which language you learn, ultimately in all the language there is some basic element which is common, okay, in all the languages. And so as an adult, you have already, our brain has already mastered a couple of languages. Okay, your brain knows how to learn a language. Okay, the thing that the child doesn't know, an adult definitely knows, because he has mastered at least 2 or 3 or 4 languages. I mean, we are Indians, come on, so we, okay, so we are polyglot. Okay, we have already mastered minimum 2 to 3 languages. Okay, and so, you know, it makes a lot of sense that instead of learning something, you know, on its own, it makes a lot of sense to use the knowledge that our brain already has, use that knowledge as the base, and then build upon that. That way what happens, first of all, your brain does not, so see this, now neuroscientifically, let me explain it this way. So neuroscientifically what happens when you learn anything new, okay, and then you keep on practicing, then your brain creates a new neural pathway. Okay, and so it takes a lot of time, okay, and practice, okay, for that pathway to like properly and, you know, register in your brain. But now when you are using some knowledge that you previously had to learn something new, okay, so what is happening, your brain does not have to create a new neural pathway for this new thing. Okay, it just understand that this new thing that is coming is just the logical branch, an extra branch of the same neural pathway that we already have. So it understands that this is not a new language, this is not a new stuff. Okay, that it's just what I already knew. This is just the further expansion of that knowledge. Okay, so your brain has to put a lot less effort to remember that stuff. So you can not only learn faster, you can also learn it better, and you can also remember for a very long time with very minimal effort. And so this particular methodology is very much suitable for adults. Okay, because as an adult we have that ability to compare and to rationalize things. Okay, doesn't make any sense to learn something, to take something and learn it completely anew when you already have some, when your brain already knows, okay, a few things about this, about the thing that you want to learn. And so I personally prefer that as a beginner, particularly if you're an adult, as a beginner, you should use this second approach, that is multilingual or bilingual approach. Okay, and once after the first level, that is A1, okay, once you get a basic understanding of how the sentences are made or how the questions are made, then you should also incorporate the first approach of the monolingual approach. Okay, and that will help you. So now what happens, you really have thorough understanding about grammar. So you so all that you need is just a few words, that is to say vocabulary, and you can, and if you know those words, then you can make sentences and questions on your own, because now you have understanding of the grammar. So you are you are basically free to make sentences and questions on your own. Okay, so you are now that creativity. Okay, that problem of creativity is no longer there. Okay, you are not dependent on somebody else, that only if you hear something, okay, you will be able to speak it. Now that problem is eliminated. Okay, and once this problem is eliminated, we incorporate the first approach now from the second level. Okay, and that is, and so through obviously various methods, and probably if you guys want, I'll talk about those methods in the future videos. Do let me know in the comment section below. Okay, if you guys want me to make a video on that. Okay, now, and so what we do is we use this second bilingual or multilingual approach first. Okay, and once students are able to make sentences and question on their own, we add the first approach, the monolingual approach, so that now that they can do stuff on their own. And so now, once you have mastered to make correct sentences, to speak your mind freely, albeit slowly, okay, in your own words, the only thing that remains is to speak those same things fluently, okay, as a native speaker. And so that is what the first approach will help you achieve. Okay, so what we do here at ASL is we incorporate both these approaches at an appropriate time. That's it for now. Let me know if you have any other question in the comment section below. That's it. Tata, bye bye, cheers.